Succession agitators. Nigerians have the right to exit country going on suicide slide. Soyinka. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka says the citizens of Nigeria have the right to exit the country if they feel that it is going on a suicidal slide. Soyinka disclosed this on Arise television on Monday. He described the country as a plane that is on a suicide slide and that the citizens have the right to exit the plane before it nosedives, because you can't, as a country, you can't hold a set of people against their own will. You know what that is called. Fill in the blanks. Speaking of various issues affecting the country, Soyinka also insisted that the only way Nigeria can continue as one is to decentralize, as the continued situation in Nigeria cannot make it stay together. He said if a plane is on a suicide slide, the people who feel they do not deserve that kind of suicide slide have the right to say, sorry, we are getting off this plane before it nosedives. Soyinka said the country cannot continue as a country if it fails to decentralize, urging the government to take the issue seriously. Do I think Nigeria can continue as one? Not if it continues this way, not if it fails to decentralize. Some people call it restructuring, others use whatever word. But if Nigeria fails to decentralize as fast as possible, manifestly and not rhetorics, then Nigeria cannot stay together. Ex-heads of the state have said it, politicians, generals, analysts, economists, others have said it all. When sectional leaders cannot answer the people's existential yearnings, don't be surprised if the people start saying, we want Steve Nation, we want Kanuri Nation, we want Biafra Nation, we want Yoruba Nation. Do not be surprised to hear it. It is because you are not being taken seriously. That is why people are demonstrating in the streets. That is why they are defying threats from the police and the governments. Question, should the government be threatening the people anyway? To be honest, I don't know how to react to this. I mean, well done for realizing. It is, Nigerians have a right, whatever decision they choose to make, if they are, properly aware that they're making that decision, they will bear the consequences, either good or bad. But the choice absolutely should not be taken away. But I thought this was basic information, as in, I don't know what this does for us, because we know this, and that is why Nigerians are protesting. I guess he's influential, right, to an extent. I understand that, and of course, he actually has some relations with some politicians. So I guess fine. If he has a mentality, maybe it can be passed across to other politicians, in which their minds can actually open and they can actually see another perspective. Is that likely to happen? Absolutely not. And with the kind of governance that we have now, that is just it's too much. It's too much of an expectation. So yeah, to be honest, the nose diving analogy, I think that makes sense. But I'm just like, but we knew this. We been new, but we knew this. What is there? We know this. Nigerians would describe it in the slang, or not slang, but in vernacular English, saying "not today," as in it's been long. We knew this. Biafrans and Oduduwans have already won their parachutes and they're waiting. Someone says, "Good talk, sir. Thank you for your stand this time." As for me and my family, we are no more Nigeria. I mean, you're not Nigeria. It was a name given to you by the British. A whole new conversation. Yeah. Impunity must be halted in Nigeria. Balkanization. Did Soyinka finally tear his US passport? He's a US citizen. Didn't know that. I saw his face on TV in Lagos during the commissioning of railway, whatever. Each time he looked at Buhari, he almost would shake his head. You could see his disdain, but these are the same people who protested against Jonathan, and now look at where their ignorance has brought us. They should be embarrassed, because you protested to get a president out, and now you're in that same position of power, and people want to protest you out, and now you're acting like a big baby. Grow up. It really is. Actually, it's not even that deep. Just find your way. Yeah, I mean, Honestly, I to me, okay, fine. What he says is apt. It makes sense, Um, but again, I guess my expectation is just too high because I'm like, would I not expect somebody like you of your caliber to understand what is actually going on in the country? To be honest, somebody says this is the better truth, although many are following the respected prof blindly, but he has really spoken my mind. Many who want succession don't know or bother to weigh the cost implications. Very, very true. Very, very true. I think if there's any region in the country that I think we find is prepared to have a less intense transition to being a sovereign state, I would say it's Biafra, to be very honest. And I think what a turning point for me that was the way they launched the ESN, which is their security arm, like the way you'd have a Motekun, they have the Eastern Security Network. The way in which it was launched was they galvanized and all of a sudden, like, it was literally it was top secret, to be honest, which was I found very impressive in a place like Nigeria to keep such top secret. That is a lot. So yeah, I think that's just what it is, to be honest. But the cost implications are very high. Economically, it is better for Nigeria to stay together as one, in my opinion. Of course, again, I don't think any tribe is at a disadvantage. You just have to efficiently use the resources that you have to get what you want. That is what it is. But I think there will be a lot of cost implications, to be honest, because the alliances that Nigeria has had before is like a whole new complex divorce in which it's not necessary, it's not really needed, but it is needed to move forward. And I think that for us to even go succession or not, it will require that we are united and we understand what the common enemy is, which is not ourselves but the government. Why? Because for a long time they've been absolved from all responsibility because we always distract ourselves from a lot of things. So again, I mean, it is our prerogative to actually want to leave. But again, this person says the cost implications can be very high. In which, yeah, have you really thought this through? I think if there's any region that's prepared to transition to an independent state or have their Biafra or whatever, I think they would need sufficient experience and just how do I describe it? Sufficient experience, and yeah, that's it. That is literally it. And understand that what, it's not going to be very easy. Somebody here says only a fool will see a faulty plane and decide to fly it. That's it. End of conversation. Who I think, don't forget to like and subscribe.